concept, definition of yoga as samadhi or samadhana, which means controlling the mind or to be in peace. Atha yoganushasanam. Now, the aphorisms of yoga. Yogaschitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is mastery over mind. Tada drishtaswarupeva sthanam. At the time of concentration or the deep focus, the seer, the Purusha, rests in his own unmodified state. As soon as the waves have stopped and the lake has become quiet, we see the ground below the lake. So with the mind, when it is calm, we see what our nature is, the true nature. We do not mix ourselves, but we remain our own selves. Vritti sarupyamitharatra. At other times, other than that of deep focus or concentration, the seer is identified with the modifications. These are the first four sutras of Patanjali Yoga Sutra, first chapter. Now we look at the composition Manasu Swadhinamai, composed by Sri Tyagaraja in Raga Shankarabharana, set to Mishra Chaputala.
Manasu swadhina mai. Manasu swadhina mai yaghanu ki. Manasu swadhina yaghanu ki. Mari mantra tantramu lela aghanu ki. Manasu swadhina maina yaghanu ki. Mari mantra tantramu lela aghanu ki. Manasu swadhina maina yaghanu ki. Mari mantra tantramu lela aghanu ki. Manasu swadhina maina yaghanu ki. Mari mantra tantramu lela. Tanu tanu gadaniyen ಎಂಚುವನಿಗೆ ತರುವುದನುಗದನಿ ಎಂಚುವನಿಗೆ ತಪಮು చేయు నేల దశరథ బాల తపము చేయు నేల దశరథ బాల తనుగదని ఎంచువనికి తపము చేయు నేల దశరథ బాల మనసు స్వాధీనమైన యాఘనుకి మరి మంత్రతంత్రము లేల ఆ జన్మము దుర్విషయరహితో నిగి ఆ జన్మము దుర్విషయరహితో నిగి గతాగతమిక ఏల జన్మము దుర్విషయ రహితునికి గతాగతమిక ఏల రాజ రాజేశ నిరంజన నిరూపమా రాజ రాజేశ నిరంజన నిరూపమా రాజవదన త్యాగ రాజ వినూత రాజ రాజేశ నిరంజన నిరూపమా రాజవదన త్యాగ రాజ వినూత మనసు స్వాధీనమైన యాఘనుకి మరి మంత్రతంత్రములేల ఆఘనునికి మనసు స్వాధీనమైన
This composition talks about Lord Sri Rama as a yogi whose mind is under self-control, who considers that body is not self, meaning he who knows his own true nature, who considers that everything is but a manifestation of you, one ultimate energy. The composer further questions where is further cycle of birth and death, meaning as a yogi, Lord Sri Rama would attain moksha and would be liberated by the cycles of birth and death.
Concept: Samadhi could be attained through unqualified ego. The nature of object is explained through three gunas. Purusha, or the true nature, is trigunatita, beyond the three gunas. Tatparan purushakyater gunavaitrishyam. Swami Vivekananda says, it is the highest manifestation of power when it takes away even our attraction towards the qualities. We have first to understand what the Purusha, the self, is and what are the qualities. According to yoga philosophy, the whole of nature, Prakriti, consists of three qualities. One is called tamas, other rajas, and the third sattva. These three qualities manifest themselves in the physical world as attraction, repulsion, or control. Everything that is in nature, all these manifestations or combinations or recombinations of these three forces. This nature has been divided into various categories by the Sankhyas, based on Sankhya philosophy. The self of man is beyond all these nature. He is effulgent by its very nature. It is pure and perfect. Whatever of intelligence we see in nature is but the reflection from this self upon nature. Nature itself is inscient. You must remember that the word nature also includes the mind. Mind is in nature, thought is in Prakriti. From thought down to the grossest form of matter, everything is in nature and is a manifestation of the Prakriti. This Prakriti has covered the self of man, and when nature takes away the cover, the self becomes unveiled and appears in its true glory. This non-attachment, as it is described in aphorism 15 as being control of nature, is the greatest help towards manifesting the self. Vitarka vicharananda smita rupanugamat sampragnataha. The concentration called right knowledge is that which is followed by reasoning, discrimination, bliss, and unqualified ego. We look at a composition, Dasa Dasa Dasara Dasyava Kodu Dosha Rashiya Nadidu, composed in the language Kannada by composer Vijayadasa, in Raga, Brindavana Saranga, set to Tala Adi.
Dasa dasa dasara dasya kodu. Dasa dasa dasara dasya kodu. Dosha rashiya nalidu. Dasa dasa dasara dasya kodu. Dosha rashiya nalidu. Dasa dasa dasara dasya kodu. श्रीशधीश सर्वेश सुरेश्वर भासुर गुण गण भूम्य चरित हरि श्रीशधीश सर्वेश सुरेश्वर भासुर गुण गण भव्य चरित करि दास दास दासर दास्य ಕೊಡು ದೋಷ ರಾಶಿಯ ನಳಿದು ದಾಸ ದಾಸ ದಾಸರ ದಾಸ್ಯ ಕೊಡು ಚಿತ್ತ ನಿನ್ನ ಪದ ಸೇವೆಯೊಳಿರಲಿ ಚಿಂತೆ ಇತರ ಬಿಡಲಿ ಚಿತ್ತ ನಿನ್ನ ಪದ ಸೇವೆಯೊಳಿರಲಿ ಚಿಂತೆ ಇತರ ಬಿಡಲಿ ಅಂತರಂಗದಲ್ಲಾನಲ್ದಿರಲಿ ಅಹಂಕೃತಯನೆ ಬಿಡಲಿ ಅಂತರಂಗದಲ್ಲಾನಲ್ದಿರಲಿ ಅಹಂಕೃತೆಯನೆ ಬಿಡಲಿ ಸಂತತ ನಿನ್ನ ಪದ ಪಂಕಜ ಭಕ್ತರ ಪಂಥವ ಪಾಲಿಸು ಪರಮ ಪುರುಷ ಕರೆ ದಾಸ ದಾಸ ದಾಸರ ದಾಸ್ಯ ಕೊಡು ದೋಷ ರಾಶಿಯ ನಳಿದು ದಾಸ ದಾಸ ದಾಸರ ದಾಸ್ಯ ಕೊಡು ಹರೇ ಹರಿಷಡ್ವರ್ಗಗಳ ಅಟವಿಯ ಖಂಡಿಸು ಆನಂದದಲ್ಲಿರಿಸು ದುರುಳರ ಸಂಗವ ದೂರ ಮಾಡಿಸು ದುರ್ಮತಿಯನೆ ಬಿಡಿಸು ಸರಸ ಸಂಭ್ರಮ ಸನ್ನುತ ಬಕುತರು ನಿರತವು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸು ನೀರಜಾಕ್ಷಗರಿ ದಾಸ ದಾಸ ದಾಸರ ದಾಸ್ಯ ಕೊಡು ದೋಷ ರಾಶಿಯ ನಳಿದು ದಾಸ ದಾಸ ದಾಸರ ದಾಸ್ಯ ಕೊಡು ಹರೇ ತ್ರಿಜಗನ್ಮೋಹನಾಕಾರ ತ್ರಿಗುಣಾತೀತ ಪಾದ ತ್ರಿಜಗನ್ಮೋಹನಾಕಾರ ತ್ರಿಗುಣಾತೀತ ತೀರ್ಥ ಪಾದ ಭಜಕರ ಪಾವನ ಭವನುತ ಚರಣ ರಜುಗುಣಾನತ ಭರಣ ರಜುಗುಣಾನತ ಭರಣ ವಿಜಯ ವಿಠ್ಠಲಾದೇಶ ಹರೇ ವಿಠಲಾದೇಶ ವಿಠಲ 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 ವಿಜಯ ವಿಠಲಾದೇಶ ವಿಶ್ವೇಶ್ವರ ಕುಜನ ವಿದಾರಣ ಕೋವಿದನು ತಗರೆ ದಾಸ ದಾಸ ದಾಸರ ದಾಸ್ಯ ಕೊಡು ದೋಷ ರಾಶಿಯ ನಳಿದು ದಾಸ 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 ದಾಸರ ದಾಸ್ಯ ದಾಸ್ಯ ಕೊಡು ಹರೇ ಹರೇ
In this composition, the composer Vijayadasa identifies the Lord as Trigunatita, meaning the one who is beyond the Trigunas or the one beyond the qualities of Tamas, Rajas and Sattva. The composer is idealizing a pure character, and in him he is seeking humility by letting go the notion of I. By seeking Lord to remove the mistakes, dosha rashiya nalidu, mistake of identifying with the self and not realizing the true nature, and asking the Lord to give him single-minded focus on his lotus feet. Sampragnata Samadhi. He says, let there be bliss from deep within, antarangadallanandirali, seeking absolute joy at the Anandamaya Kosha level. The extreme pure non-attachment, giving up even the qualities, shows the real nature of the Purusha.
The next concept is Bhakti Yoga. The wonderful flexibility offered by Patanjali is he did not restrict that the self-realization is only one path. He suggested many different paths to reach the end goal. As part of aphorisms related to Bhakti Yoga, he says, Ishvara Pranidhanatva, or by surrender to Ishvara. Klesha Karma Vipakashayairaparam Rishta Purusha Vishesha Ishvaraha. Ishvara, the supreme ruler, the superconsciousness, is a special Purusha untouched by misery, the results of action or desires. Tatra Niratishayan Sarvagnatva Bijam. In him becomes infinite that all-knowingness which in others is only a germ. Sa Purveshamapi Guru Kalena Navacchedat. He is the teacher of even the ancient teachers, being not limited by time. Tasya Vachaka Pranavaha. His manifesting word is Om. Tajjapastadartha Bhavanam. The repetition of this Om and meditating on its meaning is the way to self-realization. In composition Nadaloludai, composed in the language Telugu by composer Sri Tyagaraja, in Raga Kalyana Vasanta set to Rupakatala, this sentiment has been brought about wonderfully.
Nadaloludi Brahmananda Mundave Manasanadaloludi Brahmananda Mundave Manasanada Lolude Brahmananda Mundave Manasanada Lolude Brahmananda Mundave Manasanada Lolude Brahmananda Mundave Manasanada Lolude Swadupala Swadupala Pradasapta Swararagari Jaya Sagita Swadupala Pradasapta Swararagani Jaya Sagita Nada Lolude Brahmananda Munda Vemanasa Manasa Hariharatma Bhusurapati Hariharatma Bhusurapati Sharajanma Ganesha Dulo Hariharatma Bhusurapati Sharajanma Ganesha Dulo Hariharatma दुलोत्तमात्म भूसुरपति शरजन्म गणेश दुलो वर मौनुनु ध्यान चरे लोलुडे ब्रह्मानंद मुंद वे मनस नाद लोलुडे ब्रह्मानंद
Om is the Pranavanada, the sound, a primordial sound. Nada is a pure sound. Upasana is to meditate. It also means sadhana. Nadopasana is to meditate on that pure sound, the pure music. Sadhana is common to both Raga and Yoga. Sadhana brings discipline in life. Sadhana is the key to moksha. O mind, by becoming a lover of Nada, attain the eternal bliss by total involvement in that music through countless ragas which result by the manipulation of the 7 notes of music and which fulfills all the righteous desires. Know that it is by this experience of Nada that the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Indra, Ganesha and Subramanya and other personages had done Upasana. And Tyagaraja is aware of this.
Fourth concept, equanimity of mind. Maitri Karuna Muditopekshanan Sukha Dukkha Punya Punya Vishayanan Bhavanataschitta Prasadanam. Swami Vivekananda says, friendship, mercy, gladness, indifference or equanimity being thought of in regards to subjects happy, unhappy, good or evil, respectively, pacify the chitta. Chitta is mind, the thoughts. Samadhana to chitta is brought by this. We must have these 4 sort of ideas. We must have friendship for all. We must be merciful towards those that are in misery. When people are happy, we ought to be happy, and to the wicked, we must be indifferent. So, with all subjects that come before us, if the subject is a good one, we shall feel friendly towards it. If the subject of thought is one that of miserable, we must be merciful towards the subject. If it is good, we must be glad. If it is evil, we must be indifferent. These attitudes of the mind towards the different subjects that come before it will make the mind peaceful. Most of our difficulties in our daily lives come from being unable to hold our minds in this way. For instance, if a man does evil to us, instantly we want to react evil, and every reaction of evil shows that we are not able to hold the chitta down. It comes out in waves towards the object, and we lose our power. Every reaction in the form of hatred or evil is so much loss to the mind, and every evil thought or deed of hatred or any thought of reaction, if it is controlled, will be laid in our favor. It is not that we lose by thus restraining ourselves. we are gaining infinitely more than we suspect. Each time we suppress hatred or a feeling of anger, it is so much good energy stored up in our favor. That piece of energy will be converting into the higher powers. A beautiful composition in the language Marathi by Sant Tukaram, Chitta Samadhana, in Raga Ahir Bhairav and Tala Ekatala would be presented now by Bhavana Pradyumna.
चित्त समाधान तरी विष बाटे सोने चित्त समाधान तरी विष बाटे सोने बहु खोटा अतिशय जाणा भलो सांगू काय बहु खोटा अतिशय जाणा भलो सांग काय मनाचे तळमळे मनाचे तळमळे चंदने अंग पोळे तुका म्हणे दूजा उपचार पीडा पूजा तुका म्हण दूजा उपचार पीडा पूजा
Chitta Samadhana. In this composition, Sant Tukaram says, he who maintains equanimity of mind instead of becoming miserable in the bad time of his life learns lessons from there. Thus, he transforms even bad time of his life into gold. There could be no good of a person who has a mind full of cravings or desires. If the temperature of the body has gone up due to mental agony, then there is no use of applying sandalwood to the body, says Sant Tukaram in this Abhang.